6:15. This is a Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Catherine Pereira and read by Lavani Vijayatunga. First, we take a look at the headlines. 261 export zones will be established next year. It has been stressed that the tea production has increased more than the previous year. State Minister Lasantha Alagiyawanna says that the two leading gas companies have been directed to the Petroleum Corporation for further investigations. A joint coastal security operation has been conducted. Women violation increases amidst COVID-19 pandemic. And in news overseas, dozens test positive on South Africa, Netherlands flights. Those are the headlines, and now move on to the details of the local news. Today is the fifth day of the committee stage budget debate. The vote of accounts on the Ministries of Plantation Industry and Land Development and relevant state ministries were taken up for discussion today. Joining the debate, State Minister Janaka Vakkumbura said that every facility for the development of minor crop export will be provided. 261 export zones will be established next year. State Minister Kanaka Herath said that the higher contribution of 20% of the foreign exchange has been received from the plantation sector in the country. The tea production has increased more than the previous year. The payment for a kilo of rubber has increased up to 400 rupees. He also stated that it is expected to earn an income of nearly $1 billion from the rubber industry. State Minister Lasantha Alagiyawanna says that the two leading gas companies in the country have been directed to the Petroleum Corporation for further investigations. The relevant reports in this regard is to be submitted to the Parliament in the future. Special discussions will also be held with the relevant state institutions on the investigations. A new coastal security operation centering India, Sri Lanka and the Maldives will be implemented. The program, which was commenced today, will be continued tomorrow as well. This program will be conducted by Sri Lanka Navy, Indian Navy and the Maldives National Defence Force. According to the communique issued by the Indian High Commissioner's Office, the joint operations have been focused attention on drug rackets. This is the news from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. And we continue with more local news. To mark the annual Orange the World 16 Days of Activism Against Gender-Based Violence international campaign, the ambassador of the Kingdom of the Netherlands to Colombo, Tanya Gongrip, handed over the Orange World banner to Foreign Minister Professor G.L. Pieris at the Foreign Ministry yesterday. Accepting the banner, Minister Professor G.L. Pieris reiterated Sri Lanka's commitment to combat gender-based violence and briefed on initiatives taken by the government of Sri Lanka in this area. He recognized that the prevention and addressing of sexual violence is an integral part of achieving Sustainable Goal number 5 on achieving gender equality and empowering all women and girls. He remarked that the government's national policy framework, Vistas of Prosperity and Splendor, has given priority to gender equality, empowerment of women and minimization of gender-based violence. UN Women, the United Nations entity dedicated to gender equality and empowerment of women, today launched a shadow pandemic public awareness campaign focusing on the global increase in domestic violence amid the COVID-19 health crisis. 1 in 3 women worldwide experience physical or sexual violence, mostly by an intimate partner. Violence against women and girls is a human rights violation. The Health Ministry noted that despite the relaxation of health guidelines, strict measures will have to be implemented again if there is a risk of COVID-19 infection spreading in the festive season. The Deputy Director of Health Services, Dr. Hemantha Herath, stated this while addressing a media briefing held at the Health Promotion Bureau. Recalling the surge in novel coronavirus infections during the festive season last year, he urged the general public to be mindful of the pandemic situation. If the circumstances allow the disease to spread, all we can do is to tighten these guidelines, Dr. Herath pointed out. And to conclude the local news, the headlines once again. 261 export zones will be established next year. It has been stressed that the tea production has increased more than the previous year. State Minister Lasantha Alagiyawanna says that the two leading gas companies have been directed to the Petroleum Corporation for further investigations. A joint coastal security operation has been conducted. Women violation increases amidst COVID-19 pandemic. And that was the local news.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Sinhala, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Sinhala, the Vidya Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala Vidya Mahatmya.
The main news story for this evening, the health sector has pointed out that there is an increase in COVID-infected patients who are receiving treatment at their homes based on the health advice. Another 485 such patients have been added during the last 24 hours. Specialist Dr. Malkanthi Galhena said that the number of COVID patients have increased when compared to the last week. The Government Information Department said that the Health Director General has confirmed 26 COVID deaths yesterday. Appointment letters to 16 specialist doctors of gynecology have been presented by Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa yesterday. The position of clinical professors have also been awarded. And that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala Vidya Mahatmya. Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Sinhala.
Watch Life is brought to you by
Tertiary and Vocational Education Commission.
And in Washla this evening, the epidemiology unit says that the number of rat fever patients reported in the country has increased. Accordingly, 5,275 such patients have been reported during this year. 844 rat fever patients have been infected and identified last month. Most patients have been reported from the Ratnapura district. Health sector has warned that the paddy farmers in the area should be vigilant in this regard. And that came to you in Watchlight.
Be aware before you follow any vocational course. When you select a training institute, check and verify its registration and course accreditation by Tertiary and Vocational Education Commission (TVEC) without wasting your valuable time and money. Visit and meet skills development officers or career guidance practitioners. Visit www.tvec.gov.lk for more information. Message from Tertiary and Vocational Education Commission.
Coming up, World News.
Headlines of the world news: dozens test positive on South Africa and Netherlands flights. The US President calls for faster vaccine sharing. Japanese Prime Minister seeks to increase Japan's defense capacity. Those are the headlines, and now more to the details of the world news. Dutch officials say that 61 people who arrived in Amsterdam on 2 flights from South Africa have tested positive for COVID-19. They have been placed in isolation at a hotel near Schiphol Airport. They are among the some 600 passengers held for several hours after arrival while they were tested for the virus. The Dutch authorities are carrying out further tests to see if there are any cases of Omicron, named yesterday as a variant of concern by the WHO. The variant was first reported to the World Health Organization in South Africa on the 24th of this month. US President Joe Biden has called the international community to step up efforts to donate coronavirus vaccines to the developing nations. An appeal comes after the World Health Organization yesterday classified the highly mutant coronavirus strain detected in South Africa as a variant of concern and named it Omicron. The WHO said preliminary investigations and evidence suggest that an increased risk of reinfection compared with other variants of concern. Biden said in a statement issued yesterday that the new variant should make clearer than ever why this pandemic will not end until we have global vaccinations. Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida has told members of a self-defense force review that measures to protect the country may include the ability to strike enemy bases. Kishida addressed about 800 personnel at the self-defense force base on Saturday. He said the attack capacity was one option the government was studying for Japan to increase its necessary defense capability. The review at the Camp Asaka, which lies in 4 municipalities in and around Tokyo, was scaled down for the second straight year due to the coronavirus pandemic. There was no parade of tanks or other vehicles. And to conclude the world news, the headlines once again. Dozens test positive on South Africa-Netherlands flight. US President calls for faster vaccine sharing. Japanese Prime Minister seeks to increase Japan's defense capacity. And that was the world news.
Development News is brought to you by Let's take all out of the coconut tree and make the island thriving and prosperous. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070-400-1928.
And in development news, Chairman of the Land Reforms Commission, Attorney at Law Nalinda Vijayasinghe says that it is expected to provide 25,000 land deeds by next year. He said the selection of persons in this regard will be conducted at Divisional Secretariat level. And that was development news.
Development News was brought to you by the coconut tree is well grown in almost all the parts of the island. It is an exceptional source of extra income. The shell, the husk and almost all the parts of the coconut tree makes you money, providing you with an excellent extra source of income. It will also help to nourish the economy of the country. You will be guided with all necessary informations regarding the coconut cultivation, with the novel cultivation techniques and all other related and upgraded informations by the Coconut Research Institute, Lunavilla. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070-400-1928.
Moving on with sports news.
In sports news, Jason Holder, Andre Russell, Evan Lewis and Shimron Hetmeyer are among the number of regulars left out for one reason or the other for the West Indies' upcoming white ball tour of Pakistan and both the ODI and T20I squads. For the ODIs, 4 players, Justin Greaves, Shama Brooks, Gundesh Moti and Odean Smith have earned their maiden call-ups, while Dominic Drakes and Moti have been included for the T20Is. Both teams will be led by Kyron Pollard. That was the sports news. Business news coming up.
Cash through NSB globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to September 30th, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency through NSB U-Trust for 6 months consecutively. Send more money and increase the chances of winning.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
In business news, Hydra Money Group has launched its sustainability roadmap, Future First, a unified and holistic sustainability plan with ambitious targets for the year 2025. The group's Future First roadmap collates and builds on several years of sustainability efforts and investments by the company. It takes stock of existing sustainability mechanism, outlines the group's ethos, and sets new goals for the company to achieve globally across all its facilities in Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Vietnam and Ethiopia. That was the business news, and economic news follows.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Cash through NSB globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners.
Economic news.
courtesy of...
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
And in economic news, the Ministry of Industries has implemented an extensive program to safeguard the brand of local coconut oil. The objective of this move is to provide high-quality coconut oil to the consumers. The ministry also stated that raw material needed for the local coconut production will also be imported. That was economic news and the weather report to conclude.
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, brings Nanasa app, a trilingual educational mobile app for online learning with video-based lessons from grade 1 to A levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with the Nanasa app. No subscription fees. Download via Google Play Store, App Store, Huawei Store or Windows. Dialogue, the future today.
And finally, the weather report. The Met Department says the atmospheric conditions are favorable for the formation of afternoon thunder showers over most parts of the island. Showers or thunder showers will occur over most parts of the island after 1 p.m. Heavy showers above 100 millimeters may occur at some places in the western, Sabaragamuwa, central, northwestern and Nuwa provinces and in the Galle and Mathura districts. Showers may occur in the northern and eastern provinces and in the Galle, Mathura and Kalutara districts during the morning hours too. And that was the weather report.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, brings Nanasa app, a trilingual educational mobile app for online learning with video-based lessons from grade 1 to A levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with the Nanasa app. No subscription fees. Download via Google Play Store, App Store, Huawei Store or Windows. Dialogue, the future today.
And before we conclude this bulletin of news, let's get back to the headlines once again. 261 export zones will be established next year. It has been stressed that the tea production has increased more than the previous year. State Minister Lasantha Alagiwana says that the two leading gas companies have been directed to the Petroleum Corporation for further investigations. A joint coastal security operation has been conducted. Women violation increases amidst COVID-19 pandemic. And in news overseas, dozens test positive on South Africa-Netherlands flight.